It is the second day here of the second week. The high-level segment just about to get underway here in Copenhagen at these very crucial climate talks. Now, the atmosphere here is quite dramatic. Thousands of people just coming in these last 2 days seeking entrance into this building. You'll recall that this building has a capacity of only 15,000 people, but up to 45,000 people have applied for accreditation to attend this meeting. And so they are trying to control the numbers, trying to ration some numbers, for instance, for NGO representatives, making sure that only a certain number can get into the building at a given point. And that is likely to get worse with all the world leaders expected here. Of course, President Kibaki left Kenya early this morning and is expected to be here later in the evening, and is scheduled to address this meeting tomorrow. Now, of that huge number that is coming here, 5,000 of those are journalists accredited to attend this meeting. And last night there was a special ceremony to award journalists who have done well in reporting environmental issues, especially climate change related, in their countries. And Kenya featured quite prominently.
The multimedia series explores
away from the grueling negotiations to a night of winners and more winners. This was the Earth Journalism Awards ceremony on the sidelines of the ongoing Copenhagen climate talks. And in many ways, it was Kenya's night.
The winner is Wildfalme, represented by Lilian Tende.
Lilian Tende got the MTV Positive Change Award on behalf of the Wafalme group in Kibera for their use of music to highlight the problem of climate change. And she kept the message alive.
So when I sit back and reminisce about the future, things about the world, wishing the one last master tabak conservation run inside of me.
She says it's all about change.
Well, first of all, I think it will awaken the talents in the children, living in the slums and street children. So we just want to make a difference because Wafalme is a form of rehabilitation.
The Sub-Saharan African Regional Award goes to Steve Mbogo for his story, Carbon Emissions Reduction Trade Opens Energy Options for Kenya. Another positive story, huh?
Next in line was Steve Mbogo from the Nation Media Group's Business Daily.
And I think it's very important, isn't it, that Africa looks at the potential as well as at the problems.
These stories that I wrote were highlighting issues of development in our country, from the corporates, how they are pursuing clean energy projects.
It's time for change.
Also here was Kenya's songbird, Achieng' Abura, who is also bringing a strong message to Copenhagen as the world leaders begin to arrive.
The real message for me is negotiate with a human face. Negotiate with that sense of humanity that says that there are already people who are dying because of climate change.
Former Irish President Mary Robinson, who was one of the chief guests, joined the long list of high-profile figures streaming into the Danish capital to demand for action.
There's not enough time. It has to be a fair, ambitious, binding, scientifically valid deal.
She says time is running out.
I happen to be a grandmother with 4 small grandchildren. They will be in their 40s in 2050. I do not know at all if there will be a safe world for them or for many other children. And there are too many children at the moment who are no longer in school because of climate change, whose parents no longer have a livelihood. We really have to understand the urgency.
And the winner is Andrea Panzeras and Christian President.
The awards were staged by the international media development NGO Internews to honor those in all types of media who use their communication skills to highlight the problem of climate change and possible solutions to it. Now, as we mentioned, world leaders will begin arriving here. Some of them indeed have already arrived, and Britain's Gordon Brown is expected later today, President Obama expected tomorrow, and between the 17th and the 18th, that is when most of them will be speaking. And so the situation here is likely to be quite dramatic, security likely to be very tight. And we are going to keep you posted on the state of the negotiations, especially with the deadlock that we reported about yesterday. We're going to give you an update later on in the day of what just might happen with these talks. From Copenhagen, I'm Joe Agayo.